Do you have a bandwidth problem? And I'm not talking about your computer or your internet. I'm talking about your brain. In our modern society, we have a bandwidth problem. And I feel like one of the reasons why we have so much stress and so much anxiety plaguing our society today is literally because there's a lot of information going through a small bandwidth. There's a sort of bottleneck issue where we can only take in and utilize and process and deal with so much information at a time. If we go back in time 100 years, we find that we used to, as a society, wake up in the morning, maybe to the sun or to a rooster or something like that, and go out and do our work for the day and be essentially single-minded in that work for a pretty good period of time. And then we would come home, we might sit down with our family and read a book or listen to some music. As I'm going, I guess, back a few hundred years here with Pa in Little House on the Prairie playing the fiddle. But we would spend time doing some sort of physical activity or spend that time in mental work, like reading a book or something. And when the sun went down, we would try to go to bed for the most part. But these days, that's not the case. We have far less physical activity these days and far more mental activity or mental distress or demands upon our mental attention. And so as we have that, we are presented with this sort of bandwidth problem where our phones are pinging in our pocket every few minutes, telling us that there's a new notification because my friend went to this great restaurant and took a picture of their food for lunch, or there are bullies at school, or there are assignments due, or there are work issues that are always popping up. We have news and media everywhere we look. And so we are not only concerning ourselves with the work at hand in front of us, but everyone's work, everyone's play. The problems on the other side of the world are much more in our face all the time. And so as a result, some of our responsibility in order to manage that problem is simply to lower the input. One way that you can do this is just to turn off the notifications on your phone other than those that are absolutely necessary. And most people will say that things that aren't necessary are necessary, but really do a personal inventory on what really is necessary and shut off the notifications on everything else. Separate yourself from your devices or from outside inputs when possible. We don't need to carry our phone in our pocket always. When we get home from work or we're somewhere where we don't need it, we can place it on a desk or away from us. We don't have to watch all the bad news that is presenting itself, whether it's online or through our television or our computer screen. But just simply engaging in the present moment more often and disconnecting ourselves from all of the useless information, or at least the overabundance of information that's constantly coming in. And so let's fix that bandwidth problem and just do one small thing toward it today to limit the amount of information coming through that bottleneck of your mind, so that we can have a clearer connection.